there is a specific kind of heaviness that sits right here in the center of your chest. It's not a sharp pain, it's a weight, like a stone that you carry around all day. You wake up with it, you take it to work or school, you smile at your friends while feeling its pressure. And when you are finally alone, in the safety of your room, or standing under the hot water of a shower, you feel it rising to your throat. It's a lump, a tightness, a silent scream that wants to escape. Your eyes start to burn. The tears are right there waiting. But then, you blink them away. You swallow hard. You tell yourself, "Not now. Don't be weak. Keep it together." We have become masters of holding it in. We have become experts at building dams to hold back the river of our own emotions. But have you ever wondered, what happens to all that water if the dam never opens? Welcome to Mira's English podcast, your quiet sanctuary for learning English and healing your soul. I'm Mira. Today, we are not just learning vocabulary. We are not just practicing grammar. Today, we are going to do something much more important. We are going to give ourselves permission to feel. If you are listening to this on your commute, or in a quiet corner of a coffee shop, or maybe lying in bed at the end of a long day, I want you to know that this space is safe. You don't have to pretend here. You don't have to be the strong one. For the next episode, you can just be human. Our topic today is simple, yet it is one of the hardest things for many of us to accept. The title of today's story is, "It is okay to cry." Let's talk about the mask. You know the one I'm talking about. It's the mask you put on every morning before you walk out the door. In English, we often use the phrase, "I'm fine." It is the most common lie in the world. "How are you?" someone asks. "I'm fine," you reply, automatically, without thinking. Even if your heart is breaking, even if you feel overwhelmed, anxious, or exhausted, you say, "I'm fine." Why do we do this? Why is it so terrifying to say, "Actually, I am not okay today"? We live in a society that is obsessed with positivity. Everywhere you look, on Instagram, on TikTok, in advertisements, everyone seems to be happy. Everyone is living their best life. We see smiles, success, travel, and strength. We rarely see the messy moments. We rarely see the swollen eyes, the red noses, the trembling hands of someone who has just cried. Because we don't see it, we start to believe that sadness is something abnormal. We start to think that if we are sad, if we need to cry, then something must be wrong with us. We feel like we are failing at being happy. This creates what psychologists call toxic positivity. It's the pressure to always be positive, no matter what you are truly feeling. It teaches us to bury our negative emotions deep underground. But imagine your emotions are like a beach ball. You know, those colorful balls filled with air that you play with in the swimming pool. Imagine trying to push that ball underwater. It takes effort, right? You have to push hard. Your arms get tired, your muscles shake. And the moment you lose your focus, what happens? The ball shoots up out of the water with force. Usually, it hits you right in the face. Suppressing your tears is exactly the same. You push the sadness down. You push the frustration down. You use all your energy just to keep that mask of "I'm fine" in place. It is exhausting. It drains your battery faster than any physical work. And eventually, just like the beach ball, those emotions will come up. And when they do, they often come out as anger, as burnout, or as a sudden breakdown over something very small, like spilling a cup of coffee. So, let's take a moment right now. If you are wearing that mask, I invite you to loosen it just a little bit. You don't have to take it off completely if you're not ready. Just let it breathe. Where did we learn to hide our tears? We weren't born this way. Think about a baby. When a baby is hungry, it cries. When a baby is scared, it cries. When a baby is uncomfortable, it cries. A baby never apologizes for crying. A baby never thinks, "Oh no, I am being too emotional." Crying is their first language. It is their way of saying, "I need help," or "I need comfort." So when did we stop? For many of us, it started on the playground, or maybe in the living room of our childhood homes. We heard phrases that slowly built a wall around our hearts. Big boys don't cry. Stop crying or I'll give you something to cry about. Don't be such a baby. Be a big girl, dry those tears. These words, even if they were said with good intentions, taught us a very dangerous lesson. They taught us that crying is the opposite of growing up. They taught us that maturity means silence. Especially for men, the stigma is incredibly heavy. Society often equates masculinity with stoicism, the ability to endure pain without showing feelings. A man who cries is often labeled as soft or weak. So, young boys learn to swallow their tears. They learn to turn their sadness into silence, or worse, into aggression. But women face a different battle. If a woman cries, she might be labeled as hysterical, oversensitive, or dramatic. She worries that if she shows tears at work, she won't be taken seriously as a professional. So, we are all trapped. Men, women, everyone. We are trapped in this idea that tears are a sign of failure. We equate holding it together with strength and falling apart with weakness. But I want to challenge that definition today. Is it really strength to hide who you are? Is it really strength to carry a burden alone until it crushes you? Or does it take a different kind of strength, a brave, raw vulnerability to let the walls down? There is a beautiful quote by the writer Washington Irving. He said, "There is a sacredness in tears. They are not the mark of weakness, but of power. They speak more eloquently than 10,000 tongues. They are the messengers of overwhelming grief, of deep contrition, and of unspeakable love." Tears are not weakness. They are a language. And when we refuse to speak this language, we lose a part of ourselves. I want you to visualize something with me. Close your eyes for a second, if it's safe to do so. Imagine that inside of you, there is a vast ocean. The ocean represents your emotional world. Sometimes, the ocean is calm. The water is still, reflecting the sunlight. These are your days of peace and joy. But sometimes, a storm comes. The wind howls. The waves rise high and crash against the shore. The sky turns dark. When we try to stop ourselves from crying, we are trying to stop the storm. We stand on the shore and yell at the waves, "Stop moving! Be still!" Does that work? Can you command the ocean to be still? No, the storm has to pass. The rain has to fall. The waves have to crash. It is the natural cycle of nature. Your tears are the rain. They are the release that the storm needs to eventually calm down. When you hold back your tears, you are keeping the storm inside your body. The thunder rumbles in your stomach. The lightning strikes in your headaches. The high waves crash against your chest, causing anxiety and tightness. You see, emotions are energy. The word emotion comes from the Latin word emovere, which means energy in motion. It is meant to move. It is meant to flow through you and then leave. It is not meant to stay stuck. When you cry, you are allowing that energy to move. You are allowing the storm to rain itself out. And what happens after a heavy rain? The air feels cleaner, doesn't it? The dust is washed away. The sky looks a deeper shade of blue. There is a sense of clarity and freshness. That is what a good cry does for your soul. It is a cleansing rain. But I know what you are thinking. Mira, I am afraid. I am afraid that if I start crying, I will never stop. The ocean is too deep. The sadness is too big. I hear you. That is a very valid fear. When we have stored up years of uncried tears, the pressure feels immense. It feels like if we open the door just a crack, the flood will wash us away. But I promise you, you will not cry forever. The body is wise. It knows exactly how much it needs to release. No storm lasts forever. The rain always stops eventually. And you are not the storm. You are the sky that holds the storm. The storm passes, but the sky remains. You will remain. Let's step away from the metaphors for a moment and look at the reality of your biology. Because sometimes our logical brain needs proof before it allows our emotional heart to open. Did you know that your body produces 3 different types of tears? It's true. Not all tears are the same. The first type is called basal tears. These are the workers. They are in your eyes all the time, keeping them wet and protected from dust. You don't even notice them. The second type is reflex tears. These happen when you chop an onion or when smoke gets in your eyes. They are there to flush out irritation. They are purely physical. But the third type is special. They are called emotional tears or psychic tears, and scientists have found something fascinating about them. When they analyzed the chemical composition of emotional tears, they found that they contain higher levels of stress hormones, specifically cortisol and adrenaline. They also contain natural painkillers like leucine and kephalin. Think about what that means. It means that when you are stressed, sad, or overwhelmed, your body literally packages up the stress chemicals into your tears and pushes them out of your body. Crying is not just a feeling, it is a biological detoxification process. When you cry, you are physically flushing the stress out of your system. You are getting rid of the toxins that make you feel anxious. So when you hold back your tears, you are literally keeping those stress hormones trapped inside your blood and your tissues. You are keeping the poison in. Is it any wonder that after a good long cry, we often feel sleepy? We feel a strange sense of calm wash over us. Our breathing slows down. Our muscles relax. That is not a coincidence. That is your parasympathetic nervous system, the system responsible for rest and digest, kicking in. Your body is designed to cry. It is a mechanism built into your DNA to help you survive, to help you self-soothe, to help you return to balance. So the next time you feel those tears coming and your brain says, "Stop, don't be weak," I want you to talk back to your brain. I want you to say, "I am not being weak. I am engaging in a sophisticated biological process to lower my cortisol levels." It sounds funny, right? But it's the truth. You are healing yourself. But understanding the science is only the first step. Knowing that it's healthy doesn't always make it easy to do, especially when we feel numb. Have you ever wanted to cry, but the tears just wouldn't come? Have you ever felt like a frozen lake? In the next part of this story, we are going to dive deep into that numbness. But what if the tears don't come? This is a question I hear so often from my listeners. You might say, "Mira, I understand the science. I understand that crying is good for me. I feel the sadness. It is heavy inside my chest. I want to release it. But when I close my eyes, nothing happens. My eyes are dry. I feel like a stone." This state is what psychologists call emotional numbness. Imagine a lake in the middle of winter. The water is still there, deep underneath, but the surface has frozen into a thick sheet of ice. You can walk on it, you can slide on it. You can't touch the water anymore. This ice is a defense mechanism. It is your mind's way of protecting you. Perhaps, at some point in your past, the pain was too great. The storm we talked about earlier was too violent. Your brain decided that it was unsafe to feel everything, so it turned down the volume knob on your emotions. It didn't just turn down the sadness, it turned down everything: the joy, the excitement, and the pain. If you are feeling numb right now, please do not be angry with yourself. Do not think you are broken. You are not a robot. You are simply in survival mode. Your body is waiting for a signal that it is safe to thaw, safe to melt the ice. Sometimes we try to force it. We watch the saddest movies we can find. We listen to heartbreaking music, trying to squeeze a single tear out of our eyes just to prove we are still human. If this is you, be patient. You cannot smash the ice with a hammer. You have to wait for the sun to come out. And the sun here is self-compassion. It is the gentle acceptance that right now, in this moment, you are doing the best you can. Since we are here to learn English as well as to heal, let's pause for a moment to look at the language we use. English is a very descriptive language when it comes to sadness. We don't just have one word for crying. We have a whole spectrum, describing the different intensities of our pain. Learning these words helps us identify exactly what we are feeling. As the psychiatrist Dan Siegel says, name it to tame it. When we can name our emotion precisely, we gain power over it. Let's walk through the stages of crying together. First, there is the beginning. We say, I am tearing up, or my eyes are welling up. To well up. Imagine a well of water rising to the surface. This is that moment when your vision gets blurry, your eyes become shiny, but the tears haven't fallen yet. It happens when you see something touching, or when someone speaks a kind word to you when you are fragile. Then, there is the quiet release. We call this weeping. Weeping is a beautiful, almost poetic word. It's not loud. It is when the tears flow steadily down your cheeks, usually in silence. You might weep when you are grieving a deep loss, or when you are overwhelmed by a sad beauty. It is a gentle, continuous flow. Then, the intensity grows. We move to sobbing. Sobbing involves your breath. You know that feeling when you can't catch your breath? When your chest heaves up and down? That jagged, gasping breath is a sob. Sobbing is physical. It shakes your whole body. It happens when the pain is sharp and immediate. And finally, there is the total release. We call this bawling. To bawl, B-A-W-L, means to cry loudly, noisily, without caring who sees or hears you. It is messy. Your face gets red, your nose runs, you make loud sounds. Children bawl naturally. As adults, we are terrified of bawling. But honestly, sometimes bawling is exactly what we need. It is the ultimate surrender. There is also a wonderful idiom I want you to remember: to have a good cry. Notice the adjective good. We don't say have a bad cry. We say have a good cry. This implies that the act of crying is beneficial. I had a really hard day, so I went home, put on my pajamas, and had a good cry. It implies that after the crying, you felt better. You felt lighter. So ask yourself, which one of these do you need right now? Do you need to simply tear up a little? Do you need to weep silently in the dark? Or do you need to bawl and let the whole world know you are hurting? Whatever it is, there is a word for it, and there is space for it. Now, let's go back to what happens when we don't do any of this, when we refuse to weep, sob, or bawl. We talked about the beach ball earlier, pushing emotions underwater. But there is another metaphor that explains why we often explode at the wrong people. Have you ever had a day where everything went wrong, but you didn't react? The alarm didn't go off. You were late. Your boss criticized you. You held it in. You smiled. Then, you spilled coffee on your shirt. You held it in. You cleaned it up. Then, you got stuck in traffic. You held it in. You get home. You are fine. And then, your partner asks, "What do you want for dinner?" Or maybe your child drops a toy on the floor. It is a tiny thing, a nothing thing. But suddenly, you explode. You scream, you yell, you burst into tears. You might say things you don't mean. You might feel like you are going crazy. Why am I crying over dinner? Why am I screaming about a toy? You are not crying about the dinner. You are crying about the alarm, the boss, the coffee, the traffic, and maybe the sadness from 3 years ago that you never processed. In English, we have an idiom for this: the straw that broke the camel's back. Imagine a camel carrying a heavy load. You keep adding straw piece by piece. The camel is strong, it stands still. But then you add one single tiny piece of straw, just one, and the camel collapses. That last piece of straw wasn't heavy, but it was the one that was too much. When we suppress our tears, we are loading straw onto our own backs. We walk around carrying this invisible mountain of unexpressed emotion. And because we are carrying so much, we have no patience left for life. We become irritable. We become snappy. We become tired all the time. We think we are protecting the people around us by not crying. We think, "I don't want to burden them." But in reality, by bottling it up, that's another great phrase, to bottle it up, we often end up hurting our relationships more because we become emotionally distant or explosive. Vulnerability draws people closer. Perfection pushes them away. Think about your best friend. If they came to you with tears in their eyes, would you think they are weak? Would you tell them to go away? No, you would probably hug them. You would feel closer to them because they trusted you with their pain. Why do you think you don't deserve the same kindness? So, how do we begin? How do we go from the frozen lake, from the heavy camelback, to the flowing river? If you haven't cried in a long time, the first tear is the hardest. It feels like breaking a seal. You might feel a physical ache in your throat. This is actually a real muscular constriction. Your glottis, the part of your throat that controls air, expands to let in more oxygen because your body is preparing for the exertion of crying, but you are swallowing to stop it. This fight between opening and closing causes that lump in your throat. To unlock the door, you need two things: safety and triggers. First, safety. You cannot cry if your body feels threatened. If you are in a stressful environment, your survival brain will keep the ice frozen. You need to create a sanctuary. Maybe it's your car parked in the driveway before you go inside. Maybe it's the shower, where the sound of water hides the sound of your sobbing. Maybe it's a specific chair in your room with a soft blanket. Find a place where you know you will not be interrupted. Tell yourself, out loud if you need to, "I am safe here. Nobody is watching. I can let go." Second, triggers. Sometimes we need a little help to turn the key. We need a catalyst. This is not masochistic. It is therapeutic. For me, it is music. There are certain songs that, within the first 3 notes, touch that tender spot in my heart. For you, it might be a movie. There is a reason we love tear-jerkers, movies that make you cry. They give us a socially acceptable reason to release the pain we are carrying from our own lives. We cry for the character in the movie, but really, we are crying for ourselves. It might be writing. taking a pen and paper and writing down, "I am sad because," or simply writing, "I am tired of being strong." Sometimes seeing the words on paper is enough to break the dam. I want to try a small exercise with you right now. It will only take a minute. You don't have to cry. Just follow my voice. Relax your shoulders. Drop them down away from your ears. Unclench your jaw. Let your tongue fall from the roof of your mouth. Soften your belly. Let it expand as you breathe. Now bring your attention to your eyes, the muscles around your eyes. They work so hard all day, looking, focusing, smiling. Let them soften. Imagine a warm towel is placed over your eyes. Warm, dark, safe. If there is water there, let it be there. If there is nothing there, let there be nothing. Just breathe into the space behind your eyes. You are safe. You are held. You are allowed to be soft. As we sit in this softness, we need to talk about what comes next. After the storm passes, how do we rebuild? How do we walk back out into the world without putting the heavy armor back on? In the final part of our journey today, we will find the courage to dry our eyes, not because we have to hide, but because we are ready to see the world clearly again. Open your eyes slowly when you are ready. Do you notice something? Even if you didn't cry, even if you just allowed yourself a moment of softness, the air feels a little different now, doesn't it? There is a beautiful English word for this feeling, catharsis. Catharsis, catharsis. It comes from ancient Greek and it means purification or cleansing. In psychology and literature, it refers to the process of releasing strong or repressed emotions, resulting in a feeling of relief. It's that feeling when you finally drop a heavy backpack after a 10-mile hike. Your shoulders feel lighter, you can stand up straighter, you can breathe deeper. When we cry, we achieve catharsis. We reset our emotional baseline. We often use the idiom, "a weight off my shoulders." I finally told her the truth and I had a good cry. It feels like a huge weight off my shoulders. This is the reward for your bravery. It is not shame, it is relief. After a storm, the world doesn't end. The sun comes out, the flowers drink the water. Life continues, but it continues with a new softness. So please, stop fearing the aftermath of crying. You will not be messy forever. You will be clear. In fact, many people report that after a deep cry, they have their best ideas. They find solutions to problems that seemed impossible before. Why? Because their brain is no longer using 80% of its energy to hold the door shut. The energy is now free to be creative. Now, I want to talk about the most important part of today's journey. We need to redefine what it means to be strong. We have been taught that strength looks like a rock, hard, immovable, unbreakable. We have been taught that strength looks like the mighty oak tree. It stands tall against the wind. It refuses to bow. It says, "I am strong, nothing can move me." But what happens when a hurricane comes? Because the oak tree is so rigid, because it cannot bend, it snaps. It breaks in half. Its strength becomes its weakness. Now, look at the willow tree. The willow is soft. Its branches hang low. It looks fragile. But when the hurricane comes, the willow dances. It bends with the wind. It bows all the way to the ground. It lets the storm move through it. It doesn't fight the wind. It flows with it. And when the storm passes, the willow stands back up. It has lost a few leaves, perhaps, but it is still whole. It is still alive. True resilience is not about being hard. It is about being flexible. Resilience, re-zil-yence, is the ability to bounce back. When you cry, you are being the willow. You are bending so that you do not break. Admitting that you are hurt is not a crack in your armor. It is the hinge that allows you to move. In Japan, there is an art form called kintsugi. When a precious ceramic bowl breaks, they do not throw it away. They do not try to hide the cracks with invisible glue. Instead, they repair the cracks with gold. They highlight the scars. They make the broken places the most beautiful part of the bowl. They believe that the bowl is more beautiful because it has been broken. You are that bowl. Your tears are the liquid gold. Every time you cry, every time you acknowledge your pain, you are filling your cracks with gold. You are becoming a more complex, more compassionate, more beautiful human being. People who have never cried, who have never suffered, often lack empathy. They cannot understand the pain of others. But you understand. Your pain has made you kind. Your tears have made you deep. So never let anyone tell you that you are too sensitive. Sensitivity is a superpower. It means you are alive. It means you are listening to the world with your whole heart. So, how do we take this lesson into our real lives? We talk a lot about physical hygiene, brushing our teeth, taking a shower, washing our hands. We do these things every day to prevent disease. But we rarely talk about emotional hygiene. If you don't brush your teeth, they decay. If you don't wash your emotional wounds, they become infected with bitterness and resentment. Crying is part of emotional hygiene. It is the shower for your soul. You don't wait until you are completely covered in mud to take a shower, right? So why wait until you are having a mental breakdown to let yourself cry? Here is my challenge to you for the next week. 1. Practice the micro cry. You don't need a huge tragedy to cry. If you see a beautiful sunset, let your eyes get wet. If you feel frustrated, take 2 minutes in the bathroom to let a few tears fall. Normalize the small releases. 2. Change your vocabulary. Stop saying "I'm sorry" when you cry. If you start crying in front of a friend, catch yourself. Don't say, "I'm sorry, I'm such a mess." Instead, try saying, "Thank you for listening. I just need a moment to let this out." See the difference? One is an apology for existing. The other is an ownership of your feelings. 3. Be the safe space for others. If you see someone crying, don't rush to say, "Don't cry, don't cry." We say that because we are uncomfortable, not because it helps them. Instead, sit with them. Say, "It's okay, let it out, I'm here." Give them permission to be the willow. As we come to the end of our time together, I want to speak directly to you. Yes, you. I know you have been trying so hard. I know you have been carrying things that are too heavy for one person to carry. I know you have smiled when you wanted to scream. I know you have been the strong one for your family, your friends, your job. But right now, in this quiet moment, you can put the armor down. You don't have to prove anything to me. You don't have to earn your rest. If tears come to you today, tomorrow, or next week, welcome them like old friends. Let them wash over you. Let them remind you that you are human, and that is a wonderful thing to be. Remember, it is okay to not be okay. It is okay to pause. It is okay to be the broken bowl filled with gold. It is okay to cry. Thank you for being brave enough to listen to this. Thank you for being brave enough to feel. This has been Mira's English Podcast. I hope these words have touched your heart and added some useful vocabulary to your English journey. If this episode spoke to you, if you felt a weight lift off your shoulders, please let me know. You can leave a comment sharing your story. I read every single one. Or simply leave a water drop emoji to show that you are part of our healing community. Don't forget to subscribe so we can walk together in the next episode. Until then, take care of yourself. Be gentle with your heart. Goodbye for now.